What's good? What's good? Hey, hit that like button. I like that. I like that already. Let me go ahead and do something on Instagram. Make sure to share the link. Put it on the story real quick. Oh shit! I don't know what I did right there. We should be good. I don't know if I'm too close to the screen or what. Fuck that shit. Make sure y'all hit that like button coming in. I know y'all gonna come in and out. I know it's a Saturday night. It's probably hot where y'all at, whatever. But hit that like button. Say something. Call in tonight. Hot topic. What type of bait men and women use when dating? So we going live in about 10 minutes. Stack 44. YouTube. Hit that like button coming in, y'all. Peace. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, Brody? What's the topic for the day, bro?
Man, we talking about what types of bait men and women use to, when they dating. You know what I'm saying? What type of bait we should use when dating to attract the opposite sex. How you feel about that?
Man, I think that shit is true because without no bait, you know what I'm saying, you ain't gonna be reeling nothing much in. It's all about what both sides have to offer each other. If one side ain't got really all the shit or quality that you're looking for, you know what I'm saying? That's the end game right there. You know, niggas ain't having that shit. But I mean, like, what do you feel about some of the topics or whatever, or some of the shit that some of these chicks need to really be thinking about the offer when it comes down it being to a man and vice versa, bro?
I mean, when you look at it as a woman, you have to understand what a man needs. Like, I think Steve Harvey, he had a good, idea, think like a man to get a man. But at the end of the day, you know how Steve Harvey get that rep. He been married about 4 times, but he was on to something. But I think like a man. So to be that nurturing spirit for a man, to capture a man, you have to think like a man and think what a man wants. You know what I'm saying? Or even go to the man in your life, like your brothers and stuff like that, to understand how a man actually moves, to know how to replenish that man. But in the black community, unfortunately, we got so many single moms. The daughter doesn't understand from the father, but when a woman has a father in her life, she understands that covenant that the father gives, and she understands how to reach out for the right man and what type of bait to use to capture a man for a husband. So that's how I feel about that.
Word. And I feel like, you know, in a lot of ways too, when we mention real fathers, we're talking about real fathers that have balls, you know, that stand up for what they believe is right as a man, not no simp fathers or, you know, all that other shit that's in between that don't make no sense. We're talking about real fathers.
I feel like the first man that should actually tell a woman the truth is her father. And once he does that, she can take the truth from any man in the world. And a lot of times women if you don't have a father or don't understand that tough love or that masculine love, then when a man get masculine around you, you're gonna feel like he's controlling. But real men say what they mean and mean what they say. So it goes a long way of, building yourself up and building your self-esteem as a woman as well. So you got anything else you want to add on that?
And that shit right there is real deep. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't understand this kind of programming. Once they put the program and they see the program and what's going on, they should be more and more for it. But as far as anybody that's not trying to go along with that program, or they're constantly fighting it all the time, that's definitely a red flag and a sign of trouble later on down the road. So it's always best to look into that, and you're all right about that, Stacks.
Facts. So yeah, I'm about to share this link with another group of people that follow me. And then, I know it's 5 people watching right now. If y'all want to call in for the first time, call on in, join the discussion. We on Stack 44 live on YouTube. So just, the number's right there in the chat. So if you want to call on in and join the discussion, I'd love to hear from some new people tonight. But if not, I got my boy Mike. I know my boy Big Rich might be calling in, coming through. Catherine says she going to come a little late. I think Michelle said she might come a little late, but it don't matter. We like to keep it nice and breezy over here. But we ain't gonna be on here too long tonight. It's a nice night out here. It's the first 75-degree weather day out here where I'm at, so I'm about to get out, bro. I'm gonna get out a little bit in the streets. I'm gonna cover up with my mask though.
Oh shit! Yo, real facts, man. I want to hear what. You know what I'm saying?
What the women got to say?
I want to hear what the women got to say. Most of all, I want to hear what the fellas got to say, man. Call in, man. Don't be shy, man. Share your thoughts on this. It's a real important topic, and I want everybody to get in on this, man, because this shit right here is going to save you from plenty of troubles down the road, when it comes down to dealing with people and in relationships, period.
Yeah. And then another thing, let's just be real. Your bait is basically it's just your normalcy. It should be your normalcy as a man or a woman. You know what I mean? You should be mastering everything you do. You should try to do everything well to attract the highest quality partner that you can get. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? They want the shit handed to them. We live in a microwave society when people feel like, if I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. But you're doing it for yourself. So, subconsciously, if you self-improving, if you stack attacking your life and you stacking up your life and you living by your plan, purpose, program, and you holding yourself accountable, knowing it's you versus you to get better, then eventually you're gonna acquire. You're gonna automatically have bait anyway. So, but that's a different story for a different day. I mean, it ain't a different story for a different day, but focusing on that self-improvement thing comes hand in hand, because when you don't self-improve, you end up having insecurities that you can't get rid of, because a lot of times when people have these insecurities, they don't want to work on them. It's guys out there that not making the money they want, then they get it with a woman and they worry about she go out with her girlfriends and if they gonna see a guy look better, more fit. If you be the best version of yourself, man or woman, you should be secure with what you have and know your lane and master your lane. And if somebody don't like you, like Bernie Mac said, God bless his soul, fuck him. You feel me? You remember that on House Party when Bernie Mac was like, you can't please everybody. If they don't like you, fuck them. Don't worry about what people think. And sometimes you can't worry about what people think.
Exactly. Because later on down the line, whoever's going to be for you is going to stay there. Whoever's not, they're going to eventually leave your life. They may not be there for, the reason. It may not be there for a season, but it's all to teach you a lesson.
They either going to be with you, against you, or in your way. That's just how people roll, especially in 2021. Make sure y'all hit the like button coming in. I know y'all might leave out. I know it's a Saturday night, people busy, but I appreciate y'all showing up. hit the like button. The more you guys like it, the more we can share these videos and other people can hear the message of what we're talking about here, trying to talk about positive dating strategies and positive relationships and self-improvement. So if you're new, hit that like button coming in at least. If you leave, I hope you check the playback. But yeah, we about to go and get started. I don't know about my boy Big Rich yet. You know, I don't think he's in here yet, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So what type of bait do you feel like you have to use when you dating women?
Well, when I'm dating women, I got like a checklist. I'm not gonna run down a line of what it is, but as far as me working on myself, I have to be the best version as I could be, and have, you know, I have to have certain things I have to offer, as well as requirements that I require of a woman.
Okay.
If I'm working on myself, I want her to be, you know, available in all aspects of her, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and have a certain professional standard about herself. Like, she's just not the average woman, because I'm not the average man, you know. So I know if she's average and I'm above average, it's not going to work, because today's average is basically way below standard. And what I mean by that is, she could have a body, but if her mentality ain't right, then that's going to have a conflict with mine, because every time I might have a conflict with her when both of our minds may clash. She may be simple-minded, and I might be, you know, above average. I'm not going to do the average normal individual that considers, you know, just getting everything easily made. You know, I'm coming with stuff to the table, you know, other than just money. You know, I have intelligence, you know, and it's just not about the education. I got common sense. You know, not that many people got common sense out there, so I want to be looking good, smelling good. I have to not just make a certain amount of money a year, but I've also made investments. She has to make investments that come to the table as well, and many other things. She has to be business-minded, you know, able to work on herself and improve in her life, just like I've improved in mine, and come with that to the table. If she ain't coming with that, I can't deal with her.
Okay. Facts. I mean, and if you coming on the other stream, we're live on Stack 44 on YouTube, and you can switch over and come over here live and call in the call-in number if you want to join the conversation of what type of bait men or women should use when dating. But yeah, live on Stack 44. All right, last night on here, you better come on YouTube. If you last night on that network, come on over here. I ain't gonna say their name, but come over here to YouTube and join Stack 44. But yeah, that's right. I think, like, for me, the type of bait I use, I mean, of course, I like to groom myself. You know, I got to be clean cut, man. That I feel like that right there, you know, is usual. You're doing that for yourself, but I understand it comes on with, you know, bait as well, to be clean cut, keep your nails clean, you know, just being clean, smelling good, you know, of course. Working on my body, hitting that gym, man, you know, that's the type of bait, you know, that you need. You know, you naturally work on yourself, you're going to automatically attract women. Right. But the bait, you know, usually, be honest, I know what type of bait I do have, you know, even from what I may drive or where I may live, you know, I say a sensible man watches for problems, prepares to meet them. The fool never looks ahead. And a lot of guys that don't put in the work, they are fools, or a lot of ladies that don't put in work, they are fool to think a man want to take them as they is if they're not working. So, you know, you want to date somebody that's your reflection of who you are, and somebody that's, you know, going to be a part of your purpose and your plan and your program as a man. And then women, you want to make sure you date a guy that's going to compliment you, not complicate you. So it goes hands in hand, because at the end of the day, everybody, when you date people, they either going to be an asset or a liability, you know. And at the end of the day, when women look at men, I feel like women look at men as you going to be a trick to her or a treat to her. The guys that's the treat, they got a hell of a lot of bait. Women be like, he look like a whole meal or a snack. So, you know, you heard that topic, and Mike, you heard women say that before.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because, you know, if you got a lot of shit to offer, a amongst most of the average dudes, she's gonna see you throughout the crowd like on some weird Waldo type of shit. She's gonna see you. You know what I mean? She's gonna spot you out, even though you ain't that hard to spot. She's gonna be like, okay, well, this dude, he ain't got shit going on for him. This shit, he ain't got shit going on. That dude right there, yeah, I wanna fuck with him. That dude right there, he's pulling. I know he's pulling chicks like that. That's the individual that you want to be. So you pulling chicks naturally. You ain't having them lead with your wallet or nothing like that. You leading how you naturally lead as a leader, and that's what attracts a majority of them, the real ones.
Okay. So yeah, we might backtrack when the women get in here or somebody get in here, but we're gonna start with the first topic. I'm gonna start on the man side first. The first bait I think a lot of guys use, and this is just as a general list that I made, and you know it could go in different orders. But I think the most popular thing men use for bait is money. You know, would you agree with that, Mike? That men use bait for money?
Agree. A lot of men have the money as the bait, but the whole thing is to never lead with your wallet. You can have the bait. The resources are attractive because it brings opportunity, but never lead with it.
Facts. You never lead with your wallet because at the end of the day, the same way you start, the same way you finish. If you come at a woman saying, I can do this, and that without leading with your personality, then you're going to set yourself up. And then when you can't produce, she'll leave your ass. And then if you produce a child with her while you're doing a relationship, she's still going to be in your wallet while you paying child support. So never lead with your wallet, guys. You know, make sure you be a man of all principles. A man that stands for something won't fall for anything. So don't be the fool. So that's my number one. I feel like for the man side, for the women's side, you know, I put, you know, be honest, we're visual. So I did put looks number one for women. That's their first bait. And I mean, let's just be honest. The world is built on a woman's, like, women are the biggest consumers in the world. They buy shoes, they buy this, they buy that. They got the hair, the makeup, just the maintenance of woman's look is everything to them because they be trying to outdress the other women. So for me, looks is a number one bait for a woman because men are visual. So if you don't look good, we ain't even trying to holler. How you feel about the looks aspect for the woman?
Word, the looks definitely got to beat it. If she ain't got the looks, if she looking all sloppy, all out of place, man, I won't even bat an eye at that.
Facts. Anything that pointed out that you looked at a woman and you fell for the bait, but it just went left after you got to know her?
Yeah, you know, she could look real good. You know, I'll come across a few chicks that look real good, you know, have nice banging features and everything like that. But the minute that she opened her mouth, she told on herself. You know what I'm saying? Like if she's not really up to par, or she has a lot of baggage. And what I mean by baggage, that's not just, you know, everything that she may have going on, but she usually tells on herself the kind of person that she is just by the way how she conducts herself, the way how she presents herself when she talks.
Facts. All right, we got a call coming in. Let's see what's going on. Let's merge real quick. If y'all want to call in, y'all never called in, call on in. Hello, what's going on?
Hey, it's Michelle.
What's up, Michelle? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what up, Michelle?
Yes, it's Michelle. How y'all doing?
We good.
How you?
Good.
So we gonna backtrack a little bit because we were just on the first thing. I don't know if you was listening already about bait, but we're gonna get your expect. We want to see what do you feel like you have to use for your bait to attract the man? What's the number one thing you think, or how you feel about bait? Period.
I would say. I have to say that I'm using
that ass. No, I'm just kidding.
I would say my personality. I'm outgoing, so I would definitely say my personality. I mean, maybe looks too. I mean, that's kind of, you know.
So don't be shy now. Be honest.
I'm not. I'm really thinking hard for the question.
You don't think about it. You just like, I don't think about what I'm gonna get to, how I'm gonna get a dude to holler at me tonight. Say you going out with your girls, y'all going out. How you gonna get them to look at you before they look at them?
I would definitely say like the way I look, the way I dress.
Okay.
Like the way I can.
All right.
I'm gonna be on that Bernie Mac shit and be like that. Hey,
Good.
All right. So we talked about the man. The first thing we said on the man was man, and this is general. This is a generalization. The list could go in different orders, but majority of the time, I think man, you know, the money aspect when they know they got money, they use that shit as bait more than anything. I mean, you have men approach you. How you feel about do men use their money or do they go over the money? They use something else for bait. What you think they use for bait more?
They definitely use their money. Definitely.
Okay. So you got any stories you want to tell us about a man using his money, try to bait on, get himself in there with you?
I mean, I think like most of the time when I go out, most men, I mean, the first thing they want to do is say, I was going to buy you a drink. And then it's an attraction thing. So of course, they're going to approach me because they're attracted to me. But then it's like, I don't know. I mean, I have a great personality. So like when I start talking to someone, if I'm interested, I think it's just easy. But I don't really get, I mean, as far as a man, like what he has, I don't really care about that. To a certain extent, I'm not saying I'm going to just date a bum, but I don't know. I'm looking at, I would say probably their looks and how they communicate, like how they talk.
Okay.
Because you can be fine, and then you can open your mouth and start talking, and it's just a complete turn off. It just depends on the communication.
Facts. All right. So the first thing we said on women, and I think Mike, was you finishing with your story on the looks thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I just want to hear a whole bunch of the shit. I want to hear what the ladies got to say on their side of it.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I say on the women's for they bait for us, because we're visual, man, we're gonna look at the looks. Because I think women look at us, when they look at us, they look at what type of how we dress and what type of shoes. So that's the money aspect on top of men leading with their wallet when they come up to you. But when we look at women, we looking at the looks aspect. That's the first bait I feel like a woman has is her looks. Do you agree?
Me?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Michelle, do you agree that y'all looks is one of y'all first baits that a man?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're not going to really, if you're attractive, even if they know that you like out their league, they still going to try it. Like it's because they're attracted to you. So I would actually say looks, yeah.
I know with the ladies though, and I'm gonna just chime in real quick. Whenever I spoke to a few women and shit like that, even if you're gonna walk up on them, joke around with them, or you know what I'm saying, split some game, they have this thing, and I'm sure Michelle knows what I'm talking about. You know, when y'all do that head to toe check, you know, is his hair right? You know what I'm saying? Is his body right? How's he dressing? Let me go down to those shoes, and I said, yo, what's up, Shirley? Like, you know, why was you checking me out from head to toe? She was like, you know, it's been a couple of times when, you know, like dudes would just randomly approach her and their fucking shoes be talking and shit. You know what I'm saying? Tongue be all out. You know, they be all sloppy and shit, hair all untrimmed, you know, that kind of thing. So I want to find out, is that true?
I would say, yeah. Like, I first of all, I like to dress. So if I'm dating someone, they have to dress nice. I'm not going to be attracted to you if you do not dress nice. So if you're just not up to par, it's a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, because you could get catfished in person. I think you could get catfished in person by a dude coming up if you don't get a good look at him, and then he walk away and you look at his pants, they wrinkled, and shoes was fucked up, but his face and everything was on point. You know, a woman could get catfished real quick by a man. So, you know, but we'll keep it going. Another thing a man should always have, make sure their hands and nails are clean too.
Oh my gosh, that automatically look at your nails and I look at your mouth. That's the first two. Unfortunately, I will stare
So need
I
to
do.
see.
Yeah, that's a big deal, especially nails. I don't. You got dirty nails, it's over. I feel like if you have dirty nails, you're dirty. Period. I don't care what you're talking about. That's number one rap. Dirty nails.
Facts.
Wow.
You got me looking at my nails. Make sure my shit good. Anyway, so for the man, since we all number two for the man, I feel like the bait they use is their looks. I mean, let's just be honest. The looks compartment. A lot of guys are struggling. You can't do nothing about your face. You can't do nothing about your height, but you can do something about your body and the way you dress. A lot of guys in the manosphere right now do not want to self-improve because they saying, I'm doing it for women. No, you're doing it for yourself. You got to make sure you're very established in the, just fit, make sure, because high blood pressure and being overweight, it's not good for you. So make sure you get yourself in the gym, you groom yourself, stuff like that. But we'll get to that other things in a minute. But look, sometimes the guys use or what they wear. And then sometimes I've seen guys that wear Gucci or Prada or certain name brands, and then they think they're entitled to talk to nice looking women, but that's not the end all be all just because you dress in a certain way. But or your looks, or you got good hair, or your hair down to your back, or you lined up with the fresh lining. How you feel about that? Do guys that's I'm gonna go to Michelle. Do guys that look good, they feel like that's the end all be all, and they want you to, they feel like they walking on water? How you met men like that?
Those type of men, it's more about a money thing. They know they got money, so they just feel like, she gonna holler at me because of what I got. But as far as look wise, you got those pretty boys that feel like because they got a nice face or whatever, you gonna holler at them. Me personally, I'm not gonna say I never dated an ugly guy. If he's up to par, even if he is a little overweight, he has a good personality, I'm open. I would give him a chance. So it's not. I wouldn't 100% just scan a room and be like, I'm only gonna talk to the finest man in here that got all the money. Like, I'm not gonna scan them like that. It's a mixture of it. So those type of dudes that's flashy like that, personally, me, I don't care for it. But you got some females that they like it, so they gonna go for it all day.
Wow.
All right, Mike, how you feel about the looks department? Do guys use that for bait?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I had my cousin do it a few times. I couldn't understand it when I was young at the moment, where everybody was fucking with the gold chains and everything like that, and I had my gold chain on and everything, and I'm just looking, and they're like, yo man, I gotta go to the store, and I'm just like, yo, why is he like, flashy, like all of a sudden? But then I asked him, I said, yo man, like what the fuck are you doing? Like I never seen you like this. He said, yeah, but man, these are what the girls go for. I'm like, what about leading with your personality? But then I saw the kind of chicks that he was bringing in, and I was like, oh, okay. Certain chicks be going for that shit, but they don't realize the same dude that got a lot of flashy clothes on. If you follow him long enough, you'll notice that motherfucker ain't got no car. Be hitting that public transportation, that iron horse, bro. That's what it is. That's where the money be going. The money be going straight to the clothes, not to his own, personal well-being to help him elevate. Instead, he's, depending on fashion and depending on maybe another person's money to help him want to come up. So in order to do that, he'll try to catch the flashiest broad or maybe the chicks that's got the money. And that's how he's going to live his life, but he's forever going to be a bum. That's my take on it.
Yeah. I'll say for me, I feel like my looks do get me in the door. It helps me a lot, but I feel like sometimes I do pick up on choosing signals when I'm out because women don't approach. They will definitely stare. So looks wise in the looks department, I think I've been blessed to have a decent amount of looks. But at the same time, I watch a woman's body language when I'm out and about. If the choosing signals are too strong or they're disrespectful, then I definitely not want to talk to them, because sometimes I even have women that, just get real aggressive, and I'll get into that in a second. But sometimes real aggressive or looking too hard. I want if you looking like that, like you see a celebrity and I'm just a regular person, it's not gonna be good because I'm gonna be turned off. Like you gotta feel like you belong on the court as me. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a fuck who it is. I'm playing basketball against whoever. I don't care if it's LeBron. I ain't gonna be. Oh, we playing this game. If I could beat him, I could beat him. If I lose, I lose. But same thing with dating. Like you feel be like, okay, this person's nice looking, but don't put them on a pedestal, man or woman. So, we'll get into that in a second about the man. So, the next thing I want to talk about is on the women's side. I think the second thing I put was, a feminine personality. A woman can use that for bait, but in these days, women don't use that as bait. They use I got my own, sometimes independent, and sometimes that come out masculine to a man. But if a woman comes with a feminine personality and has her own as well, that's way more attractive. How you feel about a feminine personality, Mike?
I mean, a feminine personality, man, is a thing that's really, really hard to find because nowadays you got a lot of women being overly masculine. And yeah, I will admit that, any chick that has the idea of saying, well, I'm independent, I got this, I got that, I'm like, damn, all I ever really wanted was for a female, you know what I'm saying, to stay in her lane and at the same time present herself with feminine qualities, which is most attractive to a man. It helps him bring out his energy more, and, her energy is aligned with his. But when she's masculine, and she's got a lot of masculine energy there, then from that point, as a man, I already know I'm emitting masculine energy. But true masculine sides of energy cannot exist in both opposite sexes. One has to go. So I just opt out. And, I just leave the scene, man. I don't even be bothered with that shit. I don't even entertain it because I know it's not, I'd rather be in my natural state. But if she's not in her natural state to present herself as a feminine woman towards my masculine energy, then, I'm going to just have to opt out and just go my own way and find somebody else who's more capable of handling that situation.
Okay. All right, Michelle, how you feel about a feminine personality? For a woman, is that a good? I mean, how you feel about it? I ain't gonna even go there, but I know it's a great thing for me. Shit.
I think it's important for a woman to. I mean, we're women, so I don't know. Some women they don't understand, a woman's place when it comes to a man. So they're gonna always try to be in control and. Like you said, nowadays it's all about, I got this, I got my own this, I don't need no man for this and that. So it just kind of, it's almost like, when it comes to like dating, I think it's probably harder for men to like find someone to even be submissive because most women feel like they don't need a man. If they got their stuff together, they don't feel like they need a man. So it's probably more difficult to date, but as a woman, I feel like we should always know our place, and I don't mean to say that as if like I need to worship or bow down to a man, but just knowing my place as a woman, and making sure that because I'm very girly, so I don't know. There's certain things for me that I'm just not gonna do. I'll speak my mind about something or I'll express my opinion, but there's just a way to do it. It doesn't have to be like like hard and rah. People get upset sometimes. So sometimes, you're going to get a different type of female if she's like really, really mad, because everybody gets angry. But as far as how you carry yourself on a day-to-day basis, I feel like women should always make sure they look good, make sure you're smelling good, speak calmly. And I don't know. That's just my personal opinion about it. But I think that all women should, what's the word? I think we should, what's the word I'm looking for? Not express, but we should value. You know what I'm trying to say?
Value the soft side. They should value the soft side. And sometimes they got these like edited. They got these feminine classes, and if y'all on YouTube, y'all need to go check out my girl China White. She talk about the feminine, being a feminine submissive woman in the right way. She talking about how to vet out the right masculine type man to be feminine and submissive too. She ain't just saying just do it. you gotta, just check out her channel. She can talk about some deep ass shit. If you're on the other live stream, you could come on over here to YouTube Stack 44 and call in. The comment on here, you don't need much bait. You're good to go. You rocking anyway. So I appreciate that. But everybody use a little bait. So moving on with this third thing for man, and I guess I'll start this one off. And I put on here is like muscles. I think the man that got their state, in shape and got their fitness. And I've been I'll say I've been muscular, athletic built for over probably 20 years. So I can use this as a bait. And I ain't gonna lie, when I was young, you can keep me with my shirt off or with a white beater on. So because I knew what the body game can do for me if I want to attract a lot of women. So that muscle gain for a man is just what it is. You you looking good, so you can use that for bait and see how many women gonna jump towards your ship and anchor on because you got them muscles. So I know that's a fact. As a man that's muscular, we can't use our body as bait, and women love men with body. I feel like women in their 20s, they kind of overlook it, but when we get to our 30s, 40s, and 50s, people start to get out their little high school body in their 20s, and especially for men and women. And once people start getting out their high school bodies and people start looking crazy as hell in their 30s, then guys that either guys that was nerds that was skinny in high school, in their 20s, they ain't getting no choosing signal, so they take their whole 20s to build up their body and get muscles, and then they use that for bait. So, I'm gonna talk to Michelle on this one. Start with Michelle on this one. How you feel about that? Have you seen guys that you went to high school with didn't have no type of physique, but then now they just ripped up and shit, and you can tell they're using it for their bait to attract women?
I would say yes, but so here's how I feel about that. I've dated guys, most men that I have dated that do have those type of bodies, I don't like them. I don't like them, number one, because and this is I'm just speaking in general, a lot of them, they feel like they're just entitled, like they think, it's almost sickening, but they think that they're look-wise, it's almost like they're like the female, as far as women, we want to look good and, take pride, but when your man is more worried about looking good than you are, it's just a turn-off. And then they feel entitled, they feel like because they, look nice and they do this and they do that, they feel like they just treat you any kind of way. So for me personally, my experience with most of them has just kind of been like womp womp. Like I had a guy one time. I mean, he was cool, and all that. He looked nice body. He got upset because I didn't answer a text message or a phone call within the time frame that he thought I should have, when we weren't in no type of relationship. We were just, talking, trying to see if we were going to date. And he kind of got mad and sent me a long text message and blocked me on social media and was like, I can't do this because you don't, basically he didn't feel like I was that interested or whatever off of one not responded text message, and I responded like hours later. So to me, I thought he was first of all, you're too sensitive for me if you're doing all that. But I just felt like because he knows that he's having these women, flock at him because of how he looks, he feels like, oh, there's plenty of women out here, so I'm not going to waste my time with you. And I was fine with it. You just made me a headache. So I'm cool with it.
I have a question to ask you, though. Okay, you said that you took a couple of hours to respond. Like, were you really busy, or were you just...
I was busy. I had a house full of people. I was entertaining, so I just didn't really have... And I didn't even notice the text message until like a couple hours later. And I was like, oh, shoot, he texted me, blah, blah, blah. So when I finally looked, I was like, hey, my bad. I was busy. I didn't see your text. What's going on? He completely ignored me, and I didn't hear from him until the next day. And when I did, it was a long text message about how I was not responding in a timely manner, and I was just completely turned off because I'm not your girlfriend. I don't have to answer nothing. But just the fact that was one time, he's acting like he has like a zero tolerance. So if you don't respond, I'm cutting you off. And for me, I'm okay with that. I don't want nobody like that. So bye. So when he sent that text message, I said, okay, thank you. I wish you the best. Have a good day. Like I don't care. So yeah. So I don't know. That's just one experience. But other men that I've dated too like that, they just be so wrapped up within themselves that it's just a turn off. It's a turn off. How are you more wrapped up with yourself than you are with actually trying to get to know me? Like it's just everything's all about you, all about you, all about you. And I can't do that. I can't.
Mike, have you experienced guys that overuse their muscles for bait?
Oh yeah. Yep. I've experienced that. I actually noticed that when I was in high school that a lot of dudes used to do that shit, but I didn't start getting into the gym until after the age of 18. I stopped, and then I got back on my purpose. Shortly back in 2016 until now, and I noticed that the side effects are different. I try not to do that because I've had it where a couple of women have actually gone crazy. You know what I'm saying, over the fact of not seeing me, like as far as body wise, and you get to know who's who and what's what when you come around certain females and they just get that urge to like just touch you or touch on your muscles, and I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Like, there's some kind of perversion of shit going on here, especially with the younger chicks and the older chicks. The younger chicks nowadays, they don't seem too picky, but when you out there and it's hot outside and you just got finished, working on something, and then you just happen to just, you take that first shirt off, and then you got the white beater shirt. It's like all eyes on you, especially when you go inside the supermarket. So I see a lot of dudes doing that shit too, but they got to be very, very mindful of that. That shit could backfire at any time because, chicks get that, they give you that look. Like, like you that zebra and on the outlands and shit, and they the lions, and they just running around and shit, and they spot you. They're going to come to you and look for a reason to approach you and ask you all kinds of shit. But I've seen dudes use that to their advantage to try to, use women. Just like Michelle be saying, sometimes you get some dudes that are like that, that may be so insecure of using their bodies that they will try to use that against you to gain leverage. To my opinion, I think that's kind of weak because if you got it like that and the shorty don't answer the phone, you have options and you ain't tripping. You want to show her that you're not insecure when you're not around and shit, or when she's not around.
Yeah, it just made
that's just me.
It made him look like a bitch. He blocked her and everything. Like damn, like
exactly. Like he was shooting off more feminine energy than her. And that's the whole purpose why with your teachings and shit like that is very how should I say? It's very resourceful and holding that masculine frame, because how do you expect to pull her, let alone keep her, if you're not in your masculine frame? I know, I'm sure Michelle got a nice banging body. You think she want to be with a weak nigga that's insecure? Who you around? Who you fucking? You better not be fucking. You better get in that room and make the tacos. Get the fuck out of here. She ain't on no baby boy shit. Nigga need to hold it down. That way he ready to press her. She get wet when she's around him. That's the kind of energy he should be shooting on. When he's there and when he's not there. Am I right, Michelle?
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go. See that right there, everybody? That's what it means. That's why I was saying you gotta stay on that Stacks 44 channel, and you know what I mean? It will teach you some things, man. That way you don't fall victim to the bullshit that's out there. But go ahead, Michelle.
All right, if you coming in from the other live stream, we are live on Stack 44 on YouTube. So come on over to Stack 44 on YouTube. You can call in. Thank y'all for speaking. How y'all doing tonight over there? But come to Stack 44 on YouTube and join the conversation on Stack 44 YouTube. You can call in, and we having a panel discussion on what type of bait men and women use. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about, we talk about the muscle thing, and be honest, I have seen guys come up to me and ask me what type of choosing signals you get with muscles. And it's kind of like sometimes it kind of be a turnoff, or I meet people that want to hang out with me to see if they can get more women. So that's another turn off as well. And then I do have women that will come up to me and grab my arm without even asking. They just want to grab on me, and I ain't gonna lie. Once you get annoyed with that shit. Like when you young, you like, oh, you eating it up, and when you get older, you like, what the disrespect? You see it way different. So, unfortunately, I had two ladies about 3 weeks ago come up to me. I was at a bar, and they asked though. They was like, "Can we touch your arm?" But still, it's still like, to me, it's kind of like, y'all put me on a pedestal, but oh well, that's something you got to deal with when you have muscles, I guess. All right, so moving on for the ladies. Number 3 for the ladies. I feel like number 3 that they use for bait is sex. Let's just be honest. I have been dealing with women for a long time and been married and everything. But sometimes women feel like they got the best oral sex in the world or best vagina in the world. And, if you deal with a woman for a long period of time or maybe a couple of months, they might just, like Alpha Male Strategy say, they might suck a little bit harder, a little bit longer just to get that relationship sometimes. And, and they use sex for bait sometimes because the last guy that might have been sipping on her and the next guy ain't. So a lot of times they say if a guy whipped, some women are looking forward to try to get a man whooped. I'm gonna start with Mike on this one. I'm gonna let Michelle fall back, but we the man, so we can talk about this sex trap thing. How you feel about how you feel about
you do get a lot of females out there that be using that shit to pull a dude in, but what I noticed over time is, you gotta look for what's out of there, out of sex. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, sex is good. Sex could be attractive. Sex does pull a person in as long as she got it. But after a while, man, as you get older, you start looking past all of that. You just want her to know what the fuck she's doing, of course, but sex is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? It's how she's putting out that energy. Because if she's having sex with you and you're having sex with her or whatever, she could be draining. You know what I mean? Like, she could be draining not just your balls, but your energy as a man. You get in what you put out. But if she's putting out that kind of energy where she could pull you in, if she's got that energy behind her that is pulling in more positivity to your purpose, your planning, your programming, and everything that you stand for, it's all the more worthwhile because not only she knows what she's doing in the bedroom, she knows what she's doing out of the bedroom, and she knows how to keep you. Not just there for the sex too. That's personally me in my opinion. But as you get older, you start looking past all of that shit and starting to see the bigger picture. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
And let's just be honest, ladies. The sex bait can backfire. You can put it on a dude, and he can go batshit crazy and stalking vibes and all that shit. Because then everybody be like, "What did you do to him?" So, Michelle, how do you feel about the sex? Do women use sex for bait, and have they ever backfired on a woman or do you know anybody in your circle say, "I'm gonna put it on him, girl," and he ain't gonna know how to act? Have you heard that before, or just keep it funky and real with us now? Do women use sex for bait now, Michelle?
Okay, yes. Most women do feel like, okay, if all this work out and I put it on him, he ain't gonna go nowhere, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like men think the same thing. Like, I feel like men feel like, okay, I'm not saying, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's a bait thing, but like everybody wants to have good sex. So I'm never not going to try to produce good sex. If I'm getting intimate with somebody, I'm going to try to do my best, at all times. So it's like, not for a bait thing because, sex is sex. After sex, if you don't have no connection or nothing with someone, you just did a physical activity. What's after that? I don't want to wake up with somebody and we just have good sex, and then I wake up and I be looking like, damn. So what else in life?
Where do we go from here? Word.
Yeah, like, we're sitting here. I can't picture. I don't want to go anywhere in public with you. We don't connect. We can't talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be some type of connection. connection. And I also feel like the best sex is the sex with the person that you're connected with versus a person that just looks nice and just fucking, and that's all it is. It's just a physical activity. And me personally, I know the difference. I've done both. I've had sex that had no purpose, no meaning, and I've been connected with someone, and the sex was amazing. So it just depends on what the person is looking for. But I feel like everybody uses sex as a bait, not to say like, oh, this person, I'm just doing this just to, I don't know if there's a motive. I just think that everybody wants to have good sex on both ends. So I think everybody does it.
So have you ever gay or heard about somebody giving somebody some sex and it was trash on the guy's end, but your girlfriend was fucking stalked after that shit?
I don't know nobody that's been stalked after bad sex, but I know personally people that have had, I mean, I know that people have had bad sex, and it was like, dang, I'm sorry, if you have bad sex, it's not going to go nowhere. You have to have good sex in a relationship. You cannot obtain a relationship and the bedroom is not popping. That's just what it is. It's not going to work. It's just not. Unless you're, like you said, you're doing it because this person is paying your bills or whatever the case may be. But then it's just like, really? Like, I don't know. Who wants to live like that? Like, I'm worth more than living like that. Like, I'm not about to live like that. Like, who does that? So, yeah, it just depends on the person.
Okay. All right. So, on to the next thing. You know, I feel like sex can be a bait for certain immature people. I feel immature people use sex as a bait. I know guys that say, I'm going to put it on there, or once I eat this and eat that, you're going to be loving me. So men do use sex as bait, but I didn't put that on a man's list. I feel like women are the gatekeepers of sex. So they would use it more than men because they choose to enter their body. And some women feel like if I fuck them all day or cook them a hot meal, I got them. But I mean, in some cases right now, sex is. When I was growing up in the 90s, I feel like sex was hard to get for men now, but now it's like it's right there. It's like fucking picking up a damn app and looking at some shit now. The sex. So oh well, but that's all for a different story, a different day. All right, so number 4, the number 4 thing for man for bait is I feel like a man can use his grooming and his smell good. Guys, I'm definitely saying, you know, this is a normal thing, a self-improvement thing, but you got to get that haircut. You got to, you know, be smelling good. Like we said earlier, keeping those nails clean. Make sure you take care of your feet, hit that gym, all that, you know, all that part of your grooming, man. Nobody wants to deal with a dude that jumps in the shower once or twice a week. You know, I know guys that played football with me that would not shower for shit. They were scared of other men. I'm like, dude, jump your ass in the shower. Then these the same guys that be wanting to be like, hey, can I get a ride home? Nigga, you ain't shower after practice. What the fuck? So grooming and smelling good is something that a man use. A woman is like got a sixth sense if you smell good. You know how many times I got women to like me just because of my smell or having good teeth and nice breath. You know, sometimes you gotta keep that gum on. You gotta keep that shit on you, man. So I'm gonna go to Mike on this one. How you feel about the guys that you know need to make sure they use that smell and that grooming for their bait for women? You know.
I mean, it brings a sense of relief to women because the last thing a woman wants to do is to touch all over you, let alone kiss you. You smell like shit. You know what I'm saying? I be asked girls some, you know what I'm saying, some sexual questions and shit. I be like, what would be a turn off to you during a sexual activity? She was like, if a guy stinks real bad, if he smells like fucking, you know what I'm saying, like straight doodle, if I'm about to go down on him, I'd be like, oh my God, that's what you dealt with? She was like, hell yeah, I had to tell a few niggas like, you know, you smell like fucking, you had your clothes in the hamper for over a month, nigga, go shower. Or sometimes she said that at one point, she told the nigga to hop in the shower And she washes clothes with her clothes because the motherfucker was stinking that bad. And I was like, yo, did you ever deal with him again? She was like, no, I gave him the Downy and I let him go.
Damn.
Yeah, man. She also said, another turn off for her is if a nigga, like we was talking earlier, if a nigga don't keep up with his hygiene with his mouth, like, you know, I'm gonna just let everybody know Listerine goes a long way. And, maybe like 1 or 2 visits to the dentist don't hurt because he can spot shit that's in your mouth that you may not necessarily find out. But you want to keep that, representation of yourself to be clean and fresh, most of all, because even if you go for a job application, you think your boss wants to, hear you coming to him, hey, man, I'm trying to get hired, but your breath smells like that doobie. You know what I'm saying? This shit smell like straight doobie. They don't want to be bothered with you. They're going to be like, okay, what's this man? He's coming, he's representing this company. Or, you get with a chick and she's like, hey, he's supposed to be my other half, but yet he smell like shit. So everybody like, yo, he smell like shit, and he dealing with you, then you must be not shit either, because you smell and he smell like shit. And you kissing up on him. How does that look? So, again, people have to be more mindful of their hygiene and how they conduct themselves as far as, being clean cut and smelling good. Because when you smell good, cleanliness is next to godliness. And when you smell good and you work on yourself and you take care of yourself, you're going to feel good. In the long run, your body will thank you for it.
All right, Michelle. So have you had experiences with good or bad about a man's grooming and smell?
I've only had good experiences because I don't put myself in those positions. I feel like, I should not have to meet you 2 or 3 times to know if you have good hygiene or not. That you should always have I'm a sucker for smell. I can't help it. I sniff everything, like literally. And if I look at your nails, you're dirty automatically. I don't care if you got on cologne and your clothes look nice, you're dirty. It's almost like trying to look at somebody's neck and it tastes like fucking salt. It's disgusting. Like, you can tell when a person is dirty. And as a woman, I do stupid shit to see if a person is clean or not. And it's just, I can't do the bad hygiene. And you can't, no. And I just think that people know. I mean, you could tell. One conversation. You should never be in public and you're not up to, like, never. Even if you just got to run to the store or something, you should not, I don't know how to explain it. You can't. You don't get a second chance, If I look at you one time and I think you're dirty, you can't touch me, period.
Could I say something too?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not sure if you smelled this around the ladies, Michelle, but at certain times, like, I was in the supermarket one day, right? And I was just, getting some food and shit from out of the freezer. And I noticed there was, like, these chicks that was walking past me. And I'm like, yo, I smell something that smell like fish. Only that I wasn't near no damn fish. You know what I'm saying? All the fish is behind the fucking freezers and shit. And I'm like, yo, they had on these spandex. It wasn't even that hot outside. In the freezer section, it's kind of cool. So they were just walking up and down, talking and shit. I'm like, yo, one of these chicks got a really bad yeast infection or some shit like that. So a lot of chicks need to be aware that, when you wear tight shit all the time, it doesn't let the coochie breathe. So, if anything, you might want to, douche and keep yourself clean and drink plenty of water, as well as have some kind of padding down there, because all of that sweat and all of that moisture tends to fester. And if you don't wash those leggings out properly, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be having cats follow you. And I don't mean cats as in people. I mean cats like I smell fish cats. That's if they could determine between the fish smell and the other smell, flies or some shit. Like, like it's just all kinds of crazy shit.
Let me
I think, have you ever had that happen? Like, have you ever noticed that around certain?
I smell women that were just straight funky. And I don't know. This is the thing. If a woman allows herself to, first of all, walk around smelling like that, like, you stink. Like, everybody knows when something is not right. As a woman, And if you don't take proper care in your vagina, that's nasty. It's nasty. It just shows that's about that person. You should not be walking around smelling like fish. Period. You need to go to the doctor, figure out what's wrong, what's going on down there. You know, and as far as like women having smells and stuff, like as women, different things can like throw off your pH balance. But that's being aware of your body and knowing your body and knowing, you know, what type of soap you use and don't do this and don't do that. So that's just something that every woman should be in tune with themselves. And if you want to walk around and you want to smell like a fish, that's disgusting. Because you got dirty, thick niggas that will fuck a nasty, you know, like that. And it's just disgusting. It's just nasty. People just don't care.
All right. Well, I was talking about the smell of a man and grooming a man, but we got to the women on that shit. But oh well, that's a bad bait for a woman. But anyway, number 4 for women, what they probably use for bait is tight clothes. And Mike just said too tight make you smell like fish, but tight revealing clothes. A lot of times, attention women or attention seeking women or attention whores, how they call it over in the red pill community. A lot of times attention whores have tight clothes. Let's just be real. But sometimes women do use tight clothes for attention and validation from men. But then when the cat call comes, they get mad like, why you looking at me? Why you wearing that? It's going to happen. You got to go hand in hand. You trying to get some attention from the right man, you going to get attention from the wrong man. So, Michelle, I mean, I know sometimes people wear clothes that just fit their body. So, but how you feel about tight clothes? Can women use overdressed sexy for bait for men?
So, overdressed and sexy is basically being trashy. And I feel like women, I think nowadays the trend is to be more naked. Not so much as like clothing. I think it's more to be as naked as possible to get attention. And like me personally, like when I go out, I'm steering as far away from that as possible. I'm never trying to look naked. I want to look put together. I want to look classy, but I want to be tasteful. I don't want to just be like, here you go, here's everything, check me out. Because you're right, it does draw more attention. And then you get upset when you have all these men harassing you like you're some type of hoe because of how you dress. But then on the flip side, I be getting harassed and I don't even be naked. So it just really depends on like how you look, because you don't have to be naked and, you know, wearing skin tight clothes with your lips shown. You don't have to do that to be sexy at all. You can still be classy and wear something nice, and you can wear something like I'll wear clothes that fit my body. But I'm not about to walk around here looking like I'm the bust out leggings or no shit like that. I just think that it's just trashy, and I don't like trashy looking stuff. I want to look good, but I don't ever want to look like I'm about to jump on somebody's stripper pole. That's just me.
Mike, how you feel about the tight clothes for bait? You feel like it's bait, or they trying to get attention, or what you feel like they trying to do with the tight clothes?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. I think they trying to pull in. You know, to me personally, they're trying to pull in as much as possible and then go with their pickings from there. But I think having that kind of outlook, as well as the way how they're doing it, I know that's natural, but to a certain degree, is, you know, unproductive. It's counterproductive. Because you want that nice tight clothing, but you got the right body. You want to conduct yourself accordingly. But, you know, not that many people are going to see it like that. You're going to attract all kinds of shit when it backfires. You know, so you got to be very mindful of how you dress. Are you dressing tight and classy, or you dressing tight and trashy?
That's crazy. All right. So moving on to the next thing for the man, number 5. We're going all the way to like 7 on both sides, I guess, and then we'll be out of here. But number 5 for man is toys. You know, your car, let's say your car, your house, if you got a motorcycle, if you know a guy with a boat, or if you got your own boat, do you use that shit to get women? Because a lot of guys, my best friend live in Miami, and you know, one of his partners out there got a boat, and you know, it's easy to get women like, let's go on my yacht. So that's a bait because women do it. Or if you driving a certain type of vehicle. I mean, I know back in the day, I used to have a Chevy Caprice sitting on some 22 spinning, boy, and it was easy for me to get a woman to ride all day with me in my car or kick it with me. So I mean, I'm gonna be honest, having a nice car or just like a nice home. You know, sometimes women be like, "Oh, I want to come over there for barbecues and kick it and all that." So, man, we do use our assets and our toys as bait. So, but at the same time, it can backfire on you too if you use it. Is you use it right away because women be like, "Oh, that's what he driving. I'm gonna set his ass up." So be mindful of how you use your bait when it comes to cars and toys like motorcycles, and yachts, and houses and stuff like that, and watches and all that stuff, jewelry as well. So, how you feel about a flashy guy, Michelle? That's or do you think guys use those toys as bait? And have you seen a guy overly do it? There's nothing wrong with a guy having nice stuff, but have you seen a guy just overly use that bait?
Yeah, I have seen guys overly use it, and it's just unattractive. I mean, some people like it though. Like some females, oh my gosh, ready to see his car, and let's go like they like that shit. So don't get me wrong, like. It is nothing wrong with it. And if you have those things, that's fine. If you flashy, I personally, I don't like flashiness. I don't like being in large groups, bunch of people standing around me. I'm just funny like that. But some people are very flashy and they, but I don't see nothing wrong with having nice stuff at all. And it does make a man more attractive if he has these things. Don't get me wrong. I am a woman. So it is more of an attractive trait to have. But on the same token, it just really depends on like what your motive is, because like I really could care less. Like if you have those things that's nice, that's cool. Okay, we can enjoy it, blah blah blah. But I'm not about to just talk to you because you got that, especially if I don't like you. I don't care what the hell you got. If I don't like you, I don't like you. So it just depends on what type of woman you're dealing with. So my opinion.
Yeah, always guys, there's nothing wrong with having toys, but remain humble. How you feel about toys that guys use for bait, Mike?
I mean, honestly, personally, I've seen it backfire too, just like how you said, dudes use a certain type of car or toy, to pull women, and now, they all know what he got. It could work one of three ways. She could actually be appreciative or not interested in the car, just you. Or she knows what kind of car you got. She said that she wants to set you up, or worse, if shit don't work out between you and her, she could go and maybe do something to that same car that you valuing or that you pulling as women. I've seen niggas' cars get keyed. I've seen niggas' cars get set on fire. When I was back in Brooklyn, just because he didn't want to be with some chick or some shit. Just out of spite. But yeah, a lot of people need to stop using, certain things or whatever that they have and put that on a pedestal, because the love is going to get you. Just like KRS-One said, love's going to get you. If you love your car, if you love, all of that shit, you're going to be sadly mistaken, because as quick as you got it, you can lose it. So never object yourself to that kind of shit to where you overly idolizing what you have. Just be grateful of having it, but don't use it to pull anybody, because if they know that you like that shit, they're gonna use that against you. So you gotta be very mindful of it. That's why I don't do that shit. If I did have a car, it would have to be just like a plain car. Yeah, sure, it might be a piece of shit, but after hooking it up, if the chick is into the same shit that I'm into, if she's into cars, then yeah, I wouldn't mind using that to pull her in, because I know that piques her interest. Just like if she worked on cars, then I would use, she could do that, vice versa. We could see what we into, but I wouldn't use that shit to pull someone. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it's just wrong. Yeah. And at the same time, like I said, love's gonna get you. If you love your car, if you love your jewelry, if you using all of that shit to pull people in, it's gonna get you. It's gonna backfire on you. So don't put all your faith in that shit.
Yeah, I remember on the movie Christine, and the chick in the library, new girl, nice looking girl, and the head football player, his homeboy came up to ask her like, "What's up?" You want to go out Friday night? And she's like, nah. And then he had so much pride. He was like, why not? And then she said, I got a date. So during the game, Artie, the other dude that fixed up the car, Christine, he pulled up with old girl. He was looking like, what? He was on the field like, what the hell? Ended up getting hit and getting paralyzed in the damn movie, or almost paralyzed. And he was like, damn, I don't believe he pulled her, but he hooked up that damn car and used that shit as bait, and he got the best girl in the school. So it is what it is, you know. It happens like that.
So you know how he met his demise, right?
Yeah.
That same fucking girl.
For that car. So the car was his demise in the long run. Y'all ain't seen that movie, go check out Christine. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, if y'all just came in on the other stream, we live on Stack 44 on YouTube. And you could come over here and then call in the show and join the conversation. All right, so the fifth thing for women to use for bait is cooking. So I ain't gonna lie, I remember this chick I used to talk to named Keisha. She was cool, she was good, but then she just started cooking for a dude without me really asking, bro. Like I was like, I don't know. Even though the food was fire, but I wasn't in a place in my life when you use the cooking and the sex and all that for me to like commit to you, bro. Like it really was like pointless, but at the same time I appreciate it. But I did tell her like, you don't have to cook, but if you want to, you can. But then like towards the end when things, you know what, when things start to fizzle out, she started to throw all this shit in my face about I cook for you, I did this, I do that. Do something because you actually want to do it. Just don't do it to try to draw a man in. And I know some women will cook for you because they want to draw you in, but there's some women out there that will cook for you because that's what they do for the dude that they like or that man they got in their life. So start with Michelle on this. Do women use cooking and stuff for bait to draw a man in?
They can. It depends on what type of woman you're dating again, you know. If I'm not a cooker, I'm not about to cook. I'm not doing it. But me personally, cooking is something I love to do. Like that's a part of my DNA. So if I'm cooking for a man, I like you. I ain't just cooking for anybody. So if you just sporadically, just randomly cooking to try to get in a relationship with somebody, like it's kind of sad, you know. Like a person should like you for you, and if you feel like you have to just do all this extra shit for them to like you, then you shouldn't even want to be with that person. Because I don't want to be with somebody where I feel like I'm gonna cook him a meal and it's just gonna make him want to be with me. If I gotta cook for you to want to be with me, I'm cool. I want you to want me for me, not because I'm doing something like that for you. So people cook for people. I mean, it's a nice gesture. It's cool, but it's sickening for a man to know she only doing this because she's trying to get in a relationship. Like, that's kind of sad.
Mike, what you got to say? I know you've been range in that butt ass naked cooking for a lady, but want some Kool-Aid? Want some Kool-Aid? So how you feel, Mike, about a woman trying to woo you off the cooking?
I mean, if she want to cook for a brother, I mean, hey, more power to you. But, like, you know, I'm going to be real. Unless I ask for it, I won't really be all into that shit. But if you want to cook, then go ahead. Like, back then, a lot of people used to be real mindful because you never know. You could be eating. She could be fattening you up real good, ready for the setup. You know, and a lot of times, if she's cooking to try to pull me in, I'd have to really go against that because you never know, man. Motherfuckers be putting some shit in your food and next thing you know, you high heel sprung off that, you know what I'm saying, off of that food. They put some shit in your food and you got to be really, really cautious. You know, I could understand and, you know, you ask that person, hey, you hungry? If I'm just meeting you, I'm not going to eat from you. That's just how I feel. But, you know, we cool in it like that and we know each other for a couple of months. I'm going to be like, yo, get your ass in that kitchen. She cooked me some, you know, some dinner. You know, after having a nice night and everything like that, wake up in the morning on some Bing Rain shit and Baby Boy had a tray set up, butt ass naked, dancing, like, hey, you want some breakfast? You know what I'm saying? Just go right to that fucking kitchen, you know what I'm saying? Crack some eggs, man. Get it popping. But as far as that whole cooking and pulling nigga in, man, I ain't with that shit. Like, I be more mindful of what you putting in my food. You know, so I'm gonna have to say to the name on that, brother, not unless you've been with that person for a minute for them to cook for you and shit. It's just as long as you're on good terms, because if you know the relationship is on the way out, I wouldn't be eating, man. Motherfuckers try to poison you.
Oh shit, that's another thing.
Poisoning and shit.
That is a good idea right there. That right there. But yeah, that cooking thing, yeah, it could go left. But like you said, Michelle, if you really want to cook for a man and you like him, that's only why you should do it. And the energy should match before you start doing stuff like that. Because when people overreach and overly do things, then they're gonna expect things. You know what I mean? If you just do it naturally and let it come naturally, then it's all good. But if you just doing it just to try to woo a man in or woo a woman in, even because I know guys that cook for women and they trying to over impress. Anytime you do a try hard, you look thirsty and you look desperate. So don't never do that. All right. So number 6 for man is dressing. I kind of covered a little bit with the looks, but dressing sometimes for a man, some guys can go overboard. You don't have to be in a fucking Armani suit when you pull up and meet a woman. You could just be clean cut, wear a nice polo. You know, sometimes guys feel like what type of shoes you bought or what type of things you have on you should be entitled to a certain type of woman. When all in all, you will be entitled to a gold digger if you dress a certain, what kind of actually you will get what you're looking for. So sometimes don't be so loud. The loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. And if you got all this high brand name shit, only time I feel like you should wear high brand name shit when you have a woman on your arm. But if you just trying to meet a woman for who you are, tone it down, guys. Don't be too overdressing for your bait. So I'm gonna start with Mike on this one. Mike, how you feel about a guy, overdoing the dressing thing when they trying to bait a woman in?
I mean, when they're overdoing it, they're not giving that individual a true representation of themselves towards who they really are. You know, they putting up that Cinderella shit. That Cinderella shit at the time, as soon as that 12 o'clock hit, that nigga gonna be back to rack, or he got to go back to work unless he's working on his purpose. Like me personally, myself, I would never dress flashy. You know, I just dress for the occasion. And when I go out somewhere, I try to look representable, unless I'm working on some shit at the house. If I'm going to any other place, you know, I wear a suit. I try to look professional everywhere I go. But I won't be on some flashy shit. Main reason why I'm more low key. I don't really like all that unnecessary, unwanted attention or false representation of myself to have people look at me visually and automatically judge me just off the way that I carry, just off the way how I dress. Because when you dress a certain way, people are going to expect you to carry yourself a certain way. Facts.
All right, Michelle, how you seen guys overdo the dressing thing and feel like they need to, literally, they feel like they bought certain shit and they overcompensating for what they don't got? Because I ain't gonna lie, I seen a lot of sloppy dudes that got a lot of fucking good gear, but they so sloppy in it, they make the gear look bad. But you had, that's what I see. What about you? Have you seen that, Michelle, out there?
I see. I don't know. I would probably say no, not really. I can never tell with meeting somebody for the first time if they're overdoing it because you don't know if that's their normal. It'd be like if you talking to somebody and you say something and then you see they try to start doing what you say, or you like maybe comment on something and then you see they try to switch it up. That's when you know they on some bull because that's not really them. But as far as like dressing, the only problem I have with men and dressing is that I don't like when men do not wear clothes that fit them. Like I don't like when the clothes are just too big and it don't look right. So I would just say, because I mean everybody has different body sizes. Some people, they're a little overweight. That's fine. Just wear something that complements your body. That's my biggest thing. You don't have to be expensive. It just needs to fit.
That's cool. The dressing thing, like I said, some guys overcompensate and say, "You don't see this Gucci girl?" Especially when a woman, I seen guys go up to women after the women like don't want to holler at them and say, "You don't see my Gucci I got on? Fuck you, bitch! You just left a lot of money on the table." So some guys be in their feelings when they spend all that money to get the attention and they're not getting the results they want. So that's how I feel about that dressing thing. All right. Number 6 for women, support system. I feel like a woman can use a support system as bait. Let's be honest, man, we love our egos to be stroking, and we love for a woman to buy into us and be our biggest cheerleader. And really, that's a key to a man. That's a gateway to a man's heart. It's just to be supportive and understand what his love language is and master that. If a woman know how to master a man's love language and stroke that ego, he'll actually enjoy just being with her. Period. You know what I mean? So start with Michelle on this one. How you feel like the support system, is that a bait thing or that's just a natural thing? Or should women learn how to use that to gather and get a man or a husband?
I think it's both. People definitely try to use it as bait because, like, a person may be like, "Oh, I like sports." Like me, I'm not really into sports. So if I date somebody who likes sports, I'm not about to sit here and fake it. Like, I watch sports all the time just so I can get him to like me. But at the same time, if that's what he does, I don't mind sitting and supporting and watching a little game or so. But you can tell when it's not genuine. You can tell when somebody's trying too hard. You can tell when a person is just doing the most. And I don't know. I just think that you can tell when somebody's not genuine. But you should support somebody, and you can tell when they're doing it because they are genuinely, like, if they genuinely like you. I think that's real easy to kind of see in a person, especially if you know what they don't do, and if they switch it up on you. I don't know. I can tell. So.
All right. So, what you got, Mike, on a support system? What you need from a woman?
I mean, on a support system, what I need from a woman, I need for her to have all her shit together, and for me to join me in the journey of where, I would consider to be going, in and out towards building a better life with each other. If she can support me, you know what I'm saying, I carry her for the world and back. But, we have to be there for each other to be strong for us to, give off that energy to what we have to offer each other and, push that. As long as she's backing me, I could back her. But if she's not backing me, how she's expecting to back me is, there's no support system there. So if she has that kind of encouragement, that understanding, and all, she should be, we could benefit each other in a big way.
Facts. I mean, the support thing should be a natural thing, but some women at this day and age, let's just be honest, being a man is hard. To find a woman that kind of celebrate what you do, your consistency, it raises an eyebrow because a lot of women feel like they're entitled to, like, for a man to chase them, even though we're the hunters. But when we do hunt and find you, and you're appreciated that we found you, it goes hands in hand by admiring us and being that support system, and it can keep keep a man from looking at other women, because there's so many women that's not supporting their man or supporting the man they deal with. It's just, to me, it's a thing that breaks from the pack with women, and a lot of women don't understand this. But you could break from a pack of women. A man could date 4 or 5 women, and you the one that's supporting him, into him, stroking that ego. He'll be like, "Fuck them other chicks. This chick right here, she already on my," like, not overly. And some guys, let's just be honest, guys, don't overly do it, because some guys get a woman that's into them and they feel like it's weakness. No, if she sees something good in you, your partner supposed to see the good in you when you don't see it in yourself. That's on both sides. So the support system is very key on both sides. But when a woman speak life into you, you feel real good as a man, because you feel like, yeah, I got this shit. Somebody celebrating with me what I'm out here doing as a man. So that's how I feel about the support system. All right, number 7, the last thing for the man is conversation. A bait, I know they say man got that mouthpiece, the game, all that, but if you intellectual and use your conversation not to trick somebody, but to find out who's going to compliment you, not complicate you. Find that value in that person that's going to be a part of your program. Use your conversation to find out who's going to be there for you. And, you know, at the end of the day, I feel kind of like conversation is a great thing because women like to talk. And if you can get along and talk to a woman, cool. Because I ain't gonna lie, there's been some women that I can't even hold a fucking 30-minute conversation with or 5-minute conversation with. So conversation is key when you know yourself as a man. And that's a good bait to have because you will actually find your best friend in a woman or somebody that actually matches you. So I'm going to start with Mike on this and go to Michelle last. Mike, how you feel about conversating with a woman and using that as a good bait for you to find the right type of woman to deal with? Well, Mike, you are there? All right, we'll go to Michelle. Michelle, you available?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Zach. I'm gonna put it on pause real quick. There's a certain situation that's going on right here. I'm gonna have to be on standby. Okay.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, continue on. I'll be back.
All right. So, how you feel about the conversation thing, Michelle?
I agree with you. I have to be able to hold a conversation with you. For me, that's like one of the main things that I look for when dating. If I cannot talk to you, it is just one word. So it's important to be able to hold a conversation with someone. Conversation is kind of like it's a deal breaker.
I feel like the conversation thing is, like I said, it's testimony to tell you who they are as a man, who they are as a woman, where they came from, the struggles they have in life. You know, conversation goes a long way. I feel like all the situationships that you don't want to be in, because anybody can sound good on paper, but what you gonna do in person? So the conversation on the text could go a different way sometimes, and it go in a good way and a bad way. But it's all about how can a person can they look in your eyes and you can actually see conviction and see facts when you talk to some. So how you feel about the in-person thing? Michelle, how you feel about the in-person talking?
The in-person talking? I feel like that's probably the most important. Like some people, they just have bad communication. Like they'll try to send you a text message and text you 24/7 instead of actually talking to you on the phone. So I also think that that's a big deal when getting to know somebody is to be able to hold that conversation. I mean, in person, over the phone, and everything like that. So I don't know. I think it's a big deal. But some people do use it as bait. I'm one of those people that I'm not going to say I use my conversation to bait people, but I do use it to kind of cipher out if I'm going to actually give somebody my time. And I can kind of tell within the first 5 or 10 minutes of talking to someone if they're going to be someone that I continue to date. So
it's like an interview process, right? You talk to somebody, you get to know what your haves and haves nots is. Do they match you? Do they compliment you or complicate you?
Mm-hmm. So, I agree with that. Like I said, some people, they can't even hold a conversation. Or you'll talk to them and they'll just start saying a whole bunch of stupid stuff. And you be thinking like, this person is not that smart. Or they're just not, some people just don't match you or they're just not on your level. People's conversation can be about things that, like, I would feel like things that you should have been talking about when you was 21 and you 30 and you just now realizing that. So to me, that's like a red flag.
Okay, I'll feel you on that one. All right, Mike, if you ain't back, man, we about to get off this shit. I ain't gonna be on there all night. Shit. All right, well, the last thing for one. All right, Mike, how you feel about you back?
Yeah, I'm back for a little bit.
All right, we almost done anyway. So how you feel about the conversation and how the man use it as game? Because they use it as bait as well. You know, they use that mouthpiece as bait. You know, sometimes it be good bait, bad bait. For men of principle, they trying to find a woman that's going to be a part of the program and stuff like that. and that's a good bait for them because women love to talk. Let's just be honest; they love to use that mouth of theirs. How you feel about the bait of conversation for a man?
I mean, honestly, between the bait of the conversation of a man, it depends on where you got to go ahead and, see where you stand with when it comes down to dealing with a woman. But if his game is weak, then, the woman's going to look at him as being inferior. She's not really going to really be bothered with him. And that's how that shows. That's how that comes down. So in order to have game, his game got to be tight. When it comes down to, sort of sex and everything like that, then that's it, pretty much. So that's how that game goes. If he ain't got no game, she gonna look at him as a lame. That's it.
Damn, ain't got no game. Look at him like a lame. Oh, is that true, Michelle? He ain't got no good vibes. He gonna look at him like a lame. Can't hold a conversation, huh? Michelle, you there? Maybe she not. Y'all be going in and out together.
I'm here. I said, I would look at a person like they're a little slow or something. Not so much as his name. I just think something wrong with him. Like it ain't all there. I mean, it's a lot of people where it's just not there nowadays. Seriously, you just be like, okay. Like it's like their mental needs to catch up to their age. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I feel like I run into a lot where people just are not there.
Okay. So last thing I think a woman will use is bait. And I hate to say it, but a lot of times women will use their accomplishments, their degrees, their education. All these things is bait. But really for us, I'll be honest, we'll look at them kind of like, if you use that, it's just like a woman leading with money. Like when a man lead with money, it look weak. When a woman lead with her education, it looks kind of like you overdoing it. You know what I mean? I'll go with Mike with this one, starting off that. If a woman trying to bait you for her education, how do you feel, Mike?
I mean, if she baits me with an education, it's not going to work because, everybody can have an education, but does everybody have common sense to know what to do when it comes down to certain situations? And I think that right there is an unattractive move. That's just like comparison or saying, look at my new gold chain I got. That don't mean shit unless you got it where it counts. You can have an education all day, but if we coming across a situation that has, that requires common sense, and you ain't got common sense, I already know it's a failed, it's a no-go. It's a failed situation that's not going to work, period. That doesn't interest me. Common sense, not education.
Facts.
It could be education and still be stupid.
Facts. That's real shit right there. How you feel about that, Michelle? Can women overuse their education as bait and it becomes a turnoff for a man?
Yeah. Sometimes the man may feel like some men may be intimidated by it, or they may be like, "Nah, I'm cool." Like if a woman comes off as if, I'm this, I'm that. I mean, sometimes people don't want to deal with people like that. Like, it's doing the most. People want real people. Like, you want somebody that's real, not somebody that's just throwing around, oh, I have this, I have that, this is my education, and, all that. And like he said, you can have all the education in the world, but you can still be as dumb as a box of rock. And it's crazy because sometimes the most educated people are just straight stupid. Like, they don't have common sense. So, I agree with him on that. I mean, it sometimes that, I can say sometimes, but it really doesn't matter how much education you have. Don't get me wrong. I personally I like a person that is educated, but you can't be educated and stupid. Education doesn't trump common sense.
Because I ain't gonna lie, like if I'm conversating with a young lady and I just meet her and she don't start off what you do sizing me up, I know that if she does have education, she doesn't value it to the point like, is he on my level? Sometimes you can just pick up on the vibe of the person if they're stable or they're not. And sometimes that's not something you need to ask right away. You know what I mean? For me, I think that's a turnoff. I know a guy right now, he just, as soon as he meet a woman, what do you do? What do you do? I'm like, dude, why you going right there? You don't even know if you're going to vibe with this person. You figure that shit out later sometimes. I get it. It could be a conversation starter, but it feel like nobody wants to feel like they're on an interview when they trying to pair bond with somebody to just get to know them. You know what I mean? That could come down the line. Anybody, y'all got any comment on that one? Have you met people that just throw that shit out just like that? I do this, I do that.
Yeah, it's a turn off. Because I don't care. I mean, eventually at some point you're going to talk about it, but like you said, it definitely will make you come off as if, let me see if this person is on my level before I even continue to talk. And I mean, sometimes it's crazy because you can have somebody that has all these things and they could date someone that doesn't, and it may not have nothing to do with what they got. They may just really genuinely like that person. So it really just depends on the person. But I agree with you. I would think somebody trying to size me up. Like, why does it matter? Especially if that's the first date and you up there quizzing me. You know, like, I'm gonna be like, okay, God, you know, like, that's a lot.
What you got? What you got, Mike, on that? Have you met some people sizing you up, women sizing you up, with what you do and all that shit?
Yeah, they do. So the ones that do, I don't really like that because they might be trying to do, like, you know, certain comparisons and to see how they can gauge me and everything like that. And I just say, you know, whatever happens, happens. And, you know, whatever we got, let's see what we could both bring each other to the table, not just gauge me, but look at how much I could benefit you. No, it should be more like how much can we benefit each other.
Facts.
If we can't do that, then I already know that you got some kind of ulterior motives. Shit don't line up with mine.
Facts. All right, my boy Golden Child in the house, D Flemings. Thanks for supporting the channel, D Fleming. He hit me on our cash out the other day. I appreciate that, bro. Golden Child in the building. But we about to do the closing comments. You know, I'm sorry you missed it, Golden Child. I know you're gonna watch the playback though, but what you want to say coming out of here with this topic, Michelle? I'm gonna start with you first and have Mike get the last word on bait, or just, you know, should somebody, you know, what would you tell a young lady that's trying to get a guy's attention, or just being wife ready for a man, and how to use her bait for her benefit, not her demise?
I would say that first and foremost, just be yourself and know who you are as a woman, and that will speak volumes versus you're trying to put on an act, or because you know this person likes this, let me try to do this because he's gonna like if I do that. I just feel like to get the best results and to actually have somebody like you for you, you need to always be yourself. And if they accept that, if they accept you for who you are, you know, that's the type of person that you should want to date versus a person who just, you know, you have to do extra to try to impress them. Like, you're basically fake just to try to get a man. So I would definitely say just be yourself and, you know, be true to who you are. And, you know, the right guy, you know, that's right for you will like you for you. And you wouldn't have to feel like you have to, you know, bait him with things that you have or whatever, because those are things that are a part of you naturally. With or without him, those are things that you have. So you don't have to use them to try to get a man to like you. If he's not like you, just let him genuinely get to know you. So that would be my advice.
Facts. All right, Mike, what you got closing on the bait thing? What would you tell a young man, you know, about the bait thing? What would you say, Mike?
Man, I'm gonna just say, you know, everybody that's out there with the dating and shit, just be more mindful of who you pick as a mate, because it could be, you know, a complicated situation. You want somebody to compliment you nicely and not complicated. When you're dealing with a lot of complications, that's just a little mishap. And to actually deal with that shit, you actually have to learn what happened, you know, between your situation and the person that you chose as a mate. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn from that shit, because if you don't learn from that shit, you're going to end up making the same mistakes over and over and over again, and it's not going to be to your benefit. You know, you want it to be to a point to where you learning from behind that shit. Most people will keep God in your lives, because the more you keep God in your lives, the people that are meant to be in your lives will stay in your life and complement it and not complicate it. The closer you stick to God, God will show you the way. And for the ones that don't belong with you, you'll see it start to clear your path more easily as these people leave your life because they're not closer to God as you can or as you are. That's just real shit. And I'm going to say I love y'all. You know, I enjoyed the show. Still keep doing what you're doing. And always stay prayed up because tomorrow is not promised. We're at the end of days right now. We have to stay prayed up. Bless.
All right, stay prayed up. Tomorrow we're gonna be coming in with the show. Do people really got their shit together? We're gonna be going over what things you should have to say you got your stuff together. So that's gonna be a good show. Today was the last Stack Attack Saturday for into the fall because I'm gonna take a break on. We did 7 weeks straight of 2 shows back to back. We're gonna get to the Stack Attack Sunday tomorrow, but then we're gonna stay on Stack Attack Sundays until the fall, guys. But you know, I appreciate that was a hard 14 shows, 7 weeks straight. But tomorrow, today's the last Saturday that I'll be on here. I'm gonna enjoy some of this weather about to start breaking in my city. So I'm gonna enjoy my Saturdays a little bit, but I'm still gonna be coming hard. One thing I'm gonna tell you guys, we're gonna have a My Time Monday rant on Monday starting in April, and Wake Up Wednesdays rant. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm gonna have a little videos when I go 3-4 minute rant about what we need to wake up on and what's our time really. I was gonna say My Time Monday, but it's really your time Monday for you to wake up and become the person that you need to become, whatever the topic is. I feel like that week that I feel like a message that God sent to me that somebody needs to hear, you're going to hear it from me. They're going to hear me ranting. It might be sound like I'm talking to you, but maybe God's talking to you. But that's what I want to say. But at the end of the day, guys, Plan Purpose Program, you versus you, you know, Stack Attack your life, stack up your life. All that thing is when you do all that work, you will have bait on you. And you got to know who you are before you give your bait to anybody. So make sure that you master who you are as a person. And it's going to bring good people. It's going to bring bad people. Just like the trolls come here, the good people like my boy D. Flemings and my boy Golden Child, my girl Michelle, my boy Mike, my boy Big Rich, all the people that's come over here. It's some positive people over here, some negative people that come over here. But you got to decipher who to deal with, who not to deal with. You got to know who's with you, against you, or in your way. But with that being said, I just want to, holler at all y'all. And, I appreciate everybody coming through. Watch the playback, hit the like, share these videos. And hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. And God bless. Good night. Sound like Russell Simmons. All right, good night, y'all.